Greetings and salutations, it's me, James, your BA Sensei. You might recognize this face. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at Python virtual environments. Why do we need them and how do we set them up? So let's do it, let's go! Alright, so why do you have virtual environments? Virtual environments are basically just directories you've set up with specific instances of Python libraries installed. So let's say you have pandas at version 1, you got NumPy at version 2. So what you want to do is you just have that one environment. All you do is with all your new Python projects that needs those environments, you just, or those libraries, you just click to that environment, and then you basically know that you always have those. You don't have to reinstall those libraries on your base interpreter. And if you share with others, you have it all in one place, nicely wrapped up in environment. If you have another project, you have all the libraries set up for that project. Okay, so now, how do you actually work with that and how do you set up these environments? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open PowerShell. PowerShell, if you open it, just open it as, run it as administrator. That's very important. So once you're in, first thing that you're going to say pip install virtual environment. You must install pip in virtual environment. I'm going to assume that you already have your environment variable set up and you can connect to the Python commands in PowerShell. Okay, so once you're in there, second thing that you need to do is you need to create some sort of a folder. So you need to have some sort of a folder. So I created a directory Python project environments. And in this folder, this is where I'm going to create all my environments. All right, so I'm just going to copy that out. Make sure you create a directory. So now in PowerShell, just navigate to that directory. Once you have it open, there should be nothing in it. We can just clear it up. Python, you have your base environment and you have your virtual environment. So if we look at our base environments, pip list will list all, if I'm not in any environment, it's going to list on the base all of the libraries I got installed on my base instance of Python. So if I now want to create a new virtual environment, let's say called Data Science version 1 or project 1, I just go virtual env, and I'm going to call this Data Science project 1. Cool. So now what this did is, if I look at the directory, it created a new folder called Data Science Project. We look inside of that. You can basically say we have scripts and libraries and all of that stuff in there. This is where we're going to install the packages, the Python packages in this virtual environment. All right. So now that we're in there, I'm going to say cd Data Science 1. Now I'm in a directory. I now want to run the scripts over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm to actually activate the environment, I need to say scripts activate. So mine just allows me to do that, but you might get an error. You might get a horrible error that looks something like this. Okay, so if you run into something like this, what you need to do is type into your Power Query or your PowerShell environment, just make sure that you put in get execution policy, ran as a policy administrator, and then you set your execution policy to unrestricted as there, and then you should be able to go into there. So how do you know you're in an environment? You can see that this little bracket over here tells you what environment you're in. So I'm currently in that. If I type pip list now, it's going to show me all of the packages installed for this specific environment. You can see my base environment had that and my virtual environment has that in there. So let's quickly install something simple, something small like Pillow library. Okay, so if we say pip list, you can see Pillow in there, there's Pillow in there. Okay, so that's only installed into this environment itself. If you want to get out of an environment, you just type in deactivate. So I see I'm out of this environment. If I look at the base environment, the pip list there, you can see Pillow is not installed in that base environment. But let's quickly go back to do that. Okay. I'm going to install NumPy version 1.2. So I just type in pip install NumPy 1.2. There we have it. You can see NumPy 1.2. If I don't want to upgrade that to the latest version, I say pip install upgrade NumPy to the latest version. See, now it's updating NumPy. Now you can see we have the latest version of NumPy on there. If I want to delete, I'm just taking you through some pip commands. If I want to delete one of these packages, let's say I want to delete pillow, I can say pip uninstall pillow. That would basically uninstall pillow for me. Right, so you can see it's gone. So if I want to now do something like, if I want to delete this virtual environment, it's actually quite simple. If you want to delete a virtual environment, just go to directory, you can just go in there and you can say delete. That would actually just delete the instance of it. Well, let's say we're in PyCharm, we have an existing project and we want to connect to that virtual environment. We go to settings, and in the settings we'll go to the project interpreter and we'll say add interpreter. But we'll say it's an existing interpreter, and what we'll do is we'll navigate to that specific location where the interpreter is, or the virtual environment is. There's my data science environment, and I have my Python in there. I say select, and this will now allow me to connect. You can see, so now I'm inheriting all of the libraries installed in that instance. So if I actually go back, so I go back in here, see I'm still in that environment. Let's say pip install pandas. And I'm installing pandas. Cool, so when pandas is installed, if I go back here, I go to my settings, you can see pandas now appears in there because I'm connected to that virtual environment. So basically all of my projects that are linked to that virtual environment will inherit the libraries. This was a quick video just to show kind of like how virtual environments, how you set them up and why you would use them. Future videos will include going a bit deeper into how to use pandas and Power Query, and how Power Query and pandas, you can do similar things in both of them. So BA Sensei out.